Hi, my name's Sage, and welcome to the latest Garden Gateway gardening workshop. Today we're going back to basics and talking about an essential part of our growing spaces, soil. All the minerals and vitamins our body needs are found and dependent upon the healthiness of our soil. When we think about growing, you'd think that the most important thing to focus on are the plants. When actually, the longer that we are growing food, we realize that healthy plants are dependent upon healthy soil. And so, as sustainable farmers and growers, we have to consistently be adding nutrients into the soil to make sure that our soil is healthy and has everything it needs to ensure that our crops are healthy and so that our bodies are healthy. Modern farming and lifestyle choices cause erosion, and in the process, precious soil is lost, also leading to polluting waterways. The consequences of this can be enormous unless we get a handle on it. So what can we do? As growers, we can choose methods that build our soil's vitality, conserve water, and prevent water erosion and runoff. In this video, we're going to be talking about what soil is and review some different methods to keep our soil healthy and full of nutrients without adding any chemicals. At the end of the video, my colleague and friend Natalie is going to join us to talk to us about the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power's different rebate programs. So we got a full video ahead of us. Let's get started. Each shovel of living soil holds more living things than all the human beings ever born. Soil is a vast ecosystem made up of lots of species scientists have yet to identify. So let's dig into all the different levels of soil. First, we have the ground level, the level we walk on and where we see plants. The next layer is the topsoil. Plants grow and animals live in this layer of soil, and the plants growing on top keep the soil nice and moist and prevent it from drying out. This is also sometimes called the organic level of soil. At this level, decomposers recycle dead plants and animals into humus. Humus is dark organic material that forms in soil when plant and animal matter decays. Some experts think that humus makes soil more fertile. Others say it helps prevent disease in plants and food crops. When humus is in soil, air and water move easily through the loose soil and oxygen can reach the root of the plants. Even the most fertile topsoil is only about a foot or so deep, and it's the most important level to gardeners and farmers. The next layer is the subsoil. Subsoil is a mixture of mineral particles and some humus near the top. Compared to topsoil, subsoil is very low in organic minerals. This is the layer where most of the soil's nutrients are found. Deep plant roots come here looking for water. Clay and minerals released up above often stick here as water drains down. Soil health is essential for growing nutritious and good foods. So now we're going to go over how to keep your soil healthy and also how to build up its health while also using recycled materials from your home. The first strategy of building healthy soil we're going to talk about is sheet mulching. Sheet mulching is an awesome, cost-effective way to build up the health of the soil you already have. So let's get started. All right, so to start with sheet mulching, all you're gonna need is a cleared space and then either some newspaper or cardboard or even some cotton towels or t-shirts, any kind of natural fabric. We wanna stay away from plastics like polyester or like laminated pages out of the magazines or newspaper. And we do want these items to be as used and worn as possible. So this cardboard came in from a shipment to the store, and now we're going to clean it and then put it down. And so if you're gonna be using like a cotton shirt or a cotton towel, just make sure you've gotten all the use out of it that you can to make sure that it's actually going to decompose in the soil and so that we're not wasting anything. And then just a tip, if you are using cardboard, we're gonna wanna make sure we remove all of this packing tape. So we call this cleaning our cardboard, and that's because this tape isn't gonna break down in the soil and it's just gonna stay either underground or eventually work its way to the top and float around like litter. So if you are using cardboard, newspaper, You want to make sure you really look it over, make sure you take off all the tape so that we don't have any litter floating around in our garden spaces. And so what do these items do in our soil? The fabrics or cardboard are actually working as weed suppression, and so they're blocking the weeds from gaining access to sunlight, and so then they die below the surface and then break down, adding nutrients to the soil. And then they actually block up to like 75% of weeds that try to come up. And the weeds that do come up are a lot easier to weed out and get rid of. So it's a really awesome benefit of sheet mulching. We're just gonna do this little square today. So next thing we're gonna do is just take out the couple weeds that are popping up, and then we're gonna lay down our cleaned cardboard. So now that we've cleared our space and we've cleaned our cardboard, we're going to start layering it down. And when you're placing your cardboard or whatever material you've chosen, you wanna make sure that you are laying it on really thick, overlapping edges. And that's just to make sure that in terms of weed suppression, that you're really not giving them any way to pop up. So it's kind of like setting down a puzzle. You're just putting it on as like connecting over edges and stuff. So we're gonna do that. And so the cardboard or organic materials, what they do is they help retain moisture in the soil. And so that's going to allow you to water less frequently. And it's also, with that water retention, the moisture is going to help organic material break down faster. And with that organic material breaking down faster, you're going to attract different microbes and insects that you really want in healthy soil, like worms and all kinds of critters. So you just want to make sure as you're going that you've really cleaned all the cardboard. It's great to do this with someone else so you all can catch if someone left tape on. And it's pretty fun to do with young people, especially laying it down. This is a super family-friendly activity. So now that that barrier is down, we're going to lay down some compost. And with sheet mulching, you can choose to either lay down some mulch or compost, just depending on what your goal is. So if you're lining a pathway, we suggest putting down mulch. But since we're planning on planting in this bed, we're going to put some really good compost down. And there's a bunch of different kinds of compost, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. And so you'll just have to look into that for what your goals are for your garden space. Here on the farm, we operate on an open system, and so that means we're bringing in things like compost to add that fertility and nutrition to our soil. The long-term goal is to work in a closed system, which means that compost would actually be made on site. But wherever you're at in your growing process, sheet mulching is a great way to incorporate building up healthy soil. So now what we're gonna do is just dump this compost over the cardboard. Now we're just flattening it out. You want to be careful when you're flattening it out that you're not moving too much of the cardboard since we placed it so carefully. Great. And so as you can see, it's kind of springy, and that's because the cardboard hasn't set yet. After a couple good waterings, the water is going to soak down and the cardboard's going to get heavier and it won't be so springy. And with something where you've just put sheet mulch down, it's good to plant something with shallow roots. So I'd suggest like a lettuce here or some sort of leafy green so that their root system won't go down and get interrupted by the cardboard. But this is great. It's ready for planting. So the next technique we're going to review is cover cropping. Cover cropping is when you plant another plant in your garden space that is going to help with the biological and chemical makeup of the soil. So to put it simply, cover crops just help add nutrients back into the soil. Really common cover crops to use are grasses and legumes, and especially legumes because a real common nutrient that's lacking in our soil is nitrogen, and legumes actually bring that back into the soil. And so there are a lot of different types of cover crops to choose from. So depending what you're wanting in your growing space, what you're lacking, you could do a little research to figure out what best matches your needs. Right, in this bed, we're going to plant some common buckwheat. Buckwheat is really beautiful, gives off really nice flowers. The bees love it, so we're gonna get pollinators around. This bed was producing eggplants for a while, and so we just wanna get some nutrients back in, give it a break, and help boost its growing power. Cover cropping is also really easy to do, especially if the bed is empty. You're just gonna get a bunch of seeds and broadcast them. We went over broadcasting in another video, so if you're curious about more details on that, you should check out that video. But yeah, we're just going to fill this bed up and then give it a good water, make sure the buckwheat has a good foundation to grow, and then we're gonna let it do its thing. So like we said, there's nothing in this bed, which is why I'm standing right in the middle of it, and I have my buckwheat cover crops right here, and what we're gonna do is just broadcast them everywhere. And cover crops are awesome because you really don't have to change your habits at all. We already water this bed pretty regularly, and so now we'll just water it knowing that we put cover crops down to hope that they take off. And it's great because when you add cover crops to a bed that already has crops in it, at the end of the season, you can just till them right into the ground and they'll add more nutrients to the soil. And then after you're done broadcasting your seeds, you just want to give them a good water to make sure that they get established. Now we're going to pass it over to Natalie, who's going to tell us a bit more about the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power's various rebate programs and how you can save water and money in your garden.
Hi, this is Natalie at CSU. I'm here to let you know about our Green Savings Program. We have recently partnered with LADWP and created a survey that can help you find the different rebates, discounts, including freebies such as water aerators and light bulbs, that can help you conserve water and energy and save money. For more information, you can go to csuinc.org under programs and click Green Savings. There you'll find the survey, some background information, and even a way to gauge how much energy you consume regularly. Also, you can email me at Natalie, Natalie, at csuinc.org, and I'd be happy to go over all the information with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our latest Garden Gateway workshop. Be sure to check out our other videos for more gardening and cooking content. If you're in or around South Central, then you can RSVP for the season to receive updates on future free material giveaway events. We're going to be back with a cooking video going over how to store your fresh veggies to make sure they keep for longer, and then a soup for when you're cleaning out the fridge. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.